I am the school's officially recognized beauty queen, but I'm not just a pretty face. I'm also the top student in my grade, a woman who combines beauty with brains. That's me. But in my senior year of high school, everything was ruined by my teacher, who made the school's worst performing heartthrob my desk mate to help him with his studies. But who would have thought that this campus heartthrob would pursue me so aggressively, telling everyone I was his girlfriend, nearly driving me to drop out of school. The day before the college entrance exam, he even tricked me into going to a hotel, filmed a video, and posted it on major websites. I was the campus belle, but I became a laughingstock. My future was completely ruined. Only now do I realize that all of this was a conspiracy. My parents wanted to seek justice for me, but they ended up as two corpses in the morgue. Overwhelmed by grief, I jumped from the school's high-rise building, yet unexpectedly, when I opened my eyes, I found myself back in my senior year of high school. There's less than a year left until the college entrance exams. Counting down, 325 days to go. Everyone, give it your all. Don't let a decade of hard work go to waste at the last moment. Leave no regrets. Before the class ended, Xu Changping, the homeroom teacher and deputy director of academic affairs, delivered an impassioned speech. Everyone has become numb. Only I shed tears, of course. It wasn't because of a few motivational words that I cried, but because I was reborn. Ivy, what's wrong with you? Could it be that you're moved by what my dad said? My deskmate Vera Xu leaned closer to me, her face full of concern. Vera Xu is very beautiful. I'm the school belle, and so is she. It's just that she looks more mature, somewhat alluring, while I'm pure and adorable. To use a trendy phrase, I'm the image of your first love. During our student days, naturally everyone preferred my appearance. Seeing my tears, she even took out a tissue to wipe them away. It's just eye strain. But I avoided it, feel disgusted. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw her expression darken, her eyes brimming with unconcealed jealousy and scheming. In my past life, Vera Xu and I were best friends. I considered her my closest confidant. Yet, to my shock, she drugged my drink and stood by as Cade Lin dragged me into a hotel. Cade Lin harmed me. He's an absolute scoundrel. But Vera Xu and homeroom teacher Xu Changping are the masterminds behind this. They joined forces to have Cade Lin ruin me, all for the guaranteed admission spots to Tsinghua and Peking University. By Ivy, come to my office. At this moment, Xu Changping waved at me and turned to leave the classroom. I knew it. Today was the day he would make me sit next to Cade Lin. In the office, Xu Changping looked at me with a smile. Ivy, you're the top student in the class, excelling in your studies. As for Cade Lin, he's at the bottom of the class, failing every subject, so I think it's best if you help him out. Don't worry, I'll definitely put your name forward for this year's scholarship. Xu Changping smiled warmly. If it were me from my past life, I would have been overjoyed, but as someone who's been reborn, I've long since figured it out. Every year, I ranked first, yet whenever it came to awarding the scholarship, it was never me. It was either Vera Xu or Xiao Ran. Is there really no trick in this? To be honest, I really want to refuse, but I just want to get through my senior year peacefully, so I have no choice but to agree, not just for this scholarship. More importantly, I'm just an ordinary kid from a regular family, with no special background. My only advantage is my outstanding academic performance. I have a shot at becoming the top student in the province. As for Xiao Ran, who's in second place, he's the son of the Education Bureau Director. The third one is Vera Xu. However, there are only 2 guaranteed admission spots to Tsinghua and Peking University. Given the current situation, it's between me and Xiao Ran. However, Xu Changping doesn't dare to scheme against Xiao Ran, so he can only direct his shady ideas toward me. After much deliberation, I agreed, because I didn't just want revenge on Cade Lin, Vera Xu and Xu Changping. I wanted to make them pay too. Ivy, you're such a good kid, don't worry, as long as Cade Lin's grades improve. I'll make sure his family comes to thank you in person. Xu Changping was overjoyed. I used to think it was because the teacher was happy for me, but now I understand, it was his cunning plan succeeding. I smiled without speaking, my adorable face still as innocent as ever. Back in the classroom, Vera Xu asked me what her father had called me over for. She clearly knew the answer but still pretended to be clueless. How disgusting. I bet she's even calling me an idiot in her head. isn't she? I told her the truth. Ivy, did my dad really say that? Is he out of his mind? Virashu stood up for me, but as I looked at her disgusting face, I found it amusing. It's always like this. On the surface, the father and daughter don't get along. But is that really the case? It's just that one plays the bad cop, and the other plays the good cop. Every first place is mine, but all the benefits go to Virashu. Every time she said dad was biased, every time she stood up for me, but every time it came to nothing. I was just a naive fool who actually believed her. I'll go talk to him. Virashu was fuming and about to leave. Normally, I would have tried to persuade her, even thanked her, and then taken over the matter after she had enjoyed her moment of satisfaction. But this time, I didn't say a word. I just sat there and pulled out the familiar exam papers. Virashu took a step forward and, seeing that I didn't stop her, clearly froze in surprise. I'll talk to my dad for you. How could they pair you with Cade Lynn as deskmates? I'd never want to part with such an excellent deskmate like you, who excels in both character and academics. She left, and I helped her pack up her school bag. As for Cade Lynn, just bring it on. Smoking, drinking, skipping school, fighting, a complete scoundrel. The only redeeming quality is that handsome face, as if he stepped right out of a fairy tale. The family background is quite decent. He's loyal and generous with friends. During school days, this kind of boy is deadly charming, like a devil among angels, fallen, yet extraordinary, exceptionally captivating. So, whether it's boys or girls, everyone likes him very much. In my past life, I was almost swept off my feet by his intense pursuit, though I was almost swayed. It wasn't because of my strong willpower, it was simply because I didn't want to drop out of school, or rather, I wanted to get into university first. If this were in college, I'd probably be lying beneath him within a month. He's just that kind of charming person. Every girl in the entire school had a crush on him. After packing her bag, I lowered my head to look at the test paper. It's okay, nothing has changed. Before long, Virashu returned. She vented angrily to me, most of it being words of indignation on my behalf. I remained silent, still working on my test papers. Ivy, maybe I should take you to see the principal. If my dad finds out, the principal will definitely step in. Virashu is truly wasting her talent by not pursuing acting. You're welcome, I said lightly. Why not? Don't you know who Cade Lynn is? Sitting next to him will affect your studies. Virashu stood in my shoes, thinking for my sake. The classmates around couldn't help but nod in agreement. She just loves using this trick to make everyone think she's a good person, a positive figure. To fight for the interests of her classmates. She wouldn't hesitate to argue and fall out with her father. But then what? What was lost is still lost. Yet people still give her a thumbs up, praising her for her loyalty. So cunning, the old me couldn't see through these things. But now, it's child's play, watching her words grow increasingly excessive. I smiled and looked up to speak. Virashu, this isn't good of you. How can you discriminate against students who don't perform well academically? We're all classmates. Shouldn't helping each other be the right thing to do? After I finished speaking, Virashu was clearly stunned. I wasn't talking about Cade Lynn specifically, but rather about students who struggle academically. In everyone's eyes, the top 10 students in the class are considered good learners. As for the 11th, families would say their performance is average, not to mention those beyond the 20th place. What about those beyond the 50th place? So in the class, there are still more students who don't perform well academically. My words undoubtedly pushed her into the spotlight, and many people couldn't help but look at her simultaneously. I didn't. Ivy, how could you say such things without proof? She was extremely nervous, her smiling face even turning somewhat distorted. Virashu, I remember you ranked 3rd in the last exam. How about this? You talk to the homeroom teacher and offer to help Cade Lynn. With a faint smile, I said calmly, she was left speechless. After going through so much trouble to get Cade Lynn by my side, how could she possibly agree? Just kidding. I blinked and picked up her school bag. It's just that I can't bear to part with you as my deskmate either. But what the homeroom teacher has decided, I can't change. Let Cade Lynn sit here this afternoon. After I finished speaking with a smile, Virashu's face turned even more ashen, because our seats were the best in the class, and Cade Lynn was the worst in the class. If she didn't leave, then I would have to sit next to Cade Lynn. I'm not that stupid. Vera Shu stared at me blankly, on the verge of blurting out that I should switch seats with Cade Lin, but I cut her off. You're my best friend, just let me have this spot. Cade Lin also needs a good spot to study. You know, or are you saying you can't even spare a single seat? After I finished speaking, she couldn't argue back at all. Since she and Xu Changping were the ones behind this mess, of course she didn't want to see any accidents happen. Normally, it's the top students who would naturally need the better seats, but now, her father is asking me to help Cade Lin, which means Cade Lin is the one who actually needs this seat more. Besides, as I said, is she really that reluctant to give it up? The implication is, do they really look down on underachievers that much? She couldn't refute anything in front of so many people and could only leave with a cold expression. Carrying her school bag, I smiled, sat in my seat, and continued working on the problems. Cade Lin came back and sat beside me, reeking of cigarette smoke. Disgusted by him, I didn't even acknowledge his presence. As for helping him study, am I out of my mind? He was the one who ruined me in my past life. Why would I help him? But if that were the only reason, I wouldn't have let him sit next to me. I want revenge. Cade Lin is the entry point. But now is not the time. He often harasses me, but sitting in the front row right under the teacher's nose, he doesn't dare go too far. Several times, my movements were too exaggerated, and the teacher called me out to stand as punishment, allowing me to attend class quietly. Soon, a month passed, and my exam results remained consistently outstanding, securing first place in all mock exams. In contrast, Vera Shu dropped to 7th place this time. I must have been distracted by this matter, that's why I didn't perform well, and I also knew that she must have been anxious. Ivy, you're amazing, you're first place again this time. Vera Shu congratulated me insincerely, and I just smiled, telling her it was merely luck. Of course she wouldn't believe it. Moreover, I believe she's getting anxious. After school in the evening, I secretly followed her to a secluded corner of the campus and took out my phone, and standing before her was none other than Cade Lin. Cade Lin, if you keep working overtime like this, I won't be able to secure your admission to Tsinghua or Peking University anymore. Vera Shu affectionately hugged Cade Lin and gave him a gentle kiss on the cheek, and this moment was captured in my photo album. The next day began. Sure enough, Cade Lin launched a fierce offensive against me. By Ivy, you're the school's recognized beauty, and I'm the heartthrob. I think we're a perfect match. Be my girlfriend. He confessed his feelings to me right in front of the whole class. Instantly, the classmates joined in the commotion, with Vera Shu standing in the crowd, her eyes gleaming with a viper-like gaze. Sorry, I'm not interested. I refused without hesitation. In my previous life, he went around telling everyone I was his girlfriend, leading to misunderstandings. It's because I didn't refuse properly. I was too shy, and when he confessed, I panicked and ran away, so everyone misunderstood. This time, I'll make sure everyone knows I don't like you, but I have no choice but to pursue you. You're destined to be this simp. What did you say? You won't agree. Fair enough. Confessing once isn't enough to prove my sincerity. By Ivy, you must not agree right away. That would be so boring. His words were dangerous, but at this age, people are drawn to such unconventional talk. Sure enough, the next day, his pursuit became even more intense. Skipping class to buy me milk tea, I threw it straight into the trash. Undeterred, he bought me roses, but I ended up giving them to our female Chinese teacher. He then bought me food, drinks, and toys. I gave them all away. It's from Cade Lin. It's a gift from Cade Lin. It's Cade Lin's. He wouldn't mind giving it to you every time he gets furious. But there's nothing he can do about it. After all, he's the one pursuing me. How could he contradict me? Every time, Vera Shu would grit her teeth in anger, but when I looked at her, she'd smile with genuine sincerity, yet in the end, she couldn't hold back anymore. Ivy, you're really lucky. Cade Lin actually likes you, she said enviously. Really, I actually think you and Cade Lin make a great match, I replied with a smile. Me, he wouldn't even look at me. Ivy, actually, I think Cade Lin is pretty great, so handsome and so devoted. If it were me, I might even be tempted. Are you really not tempted at all? She was trying every trick in the book to get me to agree. How could I not see through her little scheme? Do you think Cade Lin is pretty good? I asked her in return. She was taken aback at first, but then nodded. I think is alright, after all, he's handsome and so devoted, I think. Cade Lin, Virashu said you're handsome and loyal, so why don't you go pursue Virashu instead? Stop bothering me. I immediately cut her off and shouted at Cade Lin. With that one sentence, Cade Lin was embarrassed, Virashu was embarrassed, the whole class erupted in excitement. As for me, I just smiled and took my mistake notebook to ask the teacher for clarification. As for what happened afterward, I couldn't be bothered to care. Green tea bitch, venomous woman. Just wait, I'll deal with you slowly. What I need to do now is study hard, get into college, and let my parents enjoy a good life. Although I want revenge, it won't interfere with my studies. What comes next will be even more interesting. Cade Lin is pursuing me, while Virashu has been labeled as liking Cade Lin. This is going to be interesting. Cade Lin's pursuit of me has become increasingly intense, while classmates are buzzing with gossip. Some say it's unrequited love, others claim she's not as good as me. In short, gossip is a fearful thing. It drives her crazy with anger. I sat high on the fishing platform, watching them perform, because I knew Virashu would definitely have another move. Sure enough, the next day, Cade Lin put in even more effort. He confessed his love to me in front of the whole school. Cade Lin knelt on one knee during the morning break, holding a bouquet of roses on the playground. By Ivy, I like you. Will you be my girlfriend? He shouted loudly, drawing a crowd of classmates to watch. Ivy, Cade Lin confessed his feelings to you. Oh my God, so handsome. The classmates are going crazy. He is quite handsome. Too bad. He's an idiot. Or perhaps, he is just a tool being used by others. I don't pity him. I'm merely lamenting that he's blind, however. Watching Cade Lin kneeling downstairs suddenly reminded me of something. That is, he is actually the illegitimate child of a city developer. After the college entrance exams, he was recognized by his biological family. He suddenly became a rich second-generation heir. In the previous life's outcome, Virashu married Cade Lin, living a fulfilling life. But in this lifetime, I won't let them have a happy ending. The malicious Virashu, I'll make her life worse than death. As for this fool Cade Lin, since you chose to be Virashu's blade, then be prepared to be dulled. I returned to my seat and continued studying, completely ignoring what was happening outside. Cade Lin made such a commotion that it not only attracted students but also brought the school's department heads and principals. As expected, he was taken to the office, but for some reason, even I was called to the office. Looking at Xu Changping, I sneered inwardly. It must be that he spread some gossip. By Ivy, you're at a crucial stage of the college entrance exams. You can't be in a puppy love now. I'm ranked first in the city and have the potential to be first in the province. Nature is the treasure of the school. Xu Changping is disgusting, acting for his own daughter. But the principal and others only know that if I could become the provincial champion, it would be an honor so precious it couldn't be more precious for the school. It's a milestone. Because our school has never had a provincial champion before. Teacher, principal, I never even considered puppy love. I've been rejecting Cade Lin all along. If you don't believe me, you can ask my classmates, they all know about it. But, what I want to say is, Virashu seems to like Cade Lin. As her best friend, I've advised her many times. So, maybe you should call Virashu in. Shall I call her for you? I was so naive and innocent that it made the principals extremely nervous. Only Xu Changping was seething with anger, and the way he looked at me had completely changed. As a result, Virashu was called into the office and given a stern lecture. The returned her didn't come to pick a fight with me. After all, what I said was the truth. Who told her to say Cade Lin was handsome? She had to pay the price for that. I thought Cade Lin would show some restraint after this incident, but I underestimated him. This guy still has the audacity to keep pursuing me, but I still refuse. I just want to see how far this simp can go. In other words, I also want to know how far Cade Lin can go for Virashu. This man, who's missing a screw in his head, might just become the ultimate trump card. In my past life, you screwed me over. In this life, I've wronged you. Fair enough. Time dragged on. And another month passed. In the second exam, my results were still the best. Virashu might have also regained her form, ranking third, however. She still falls far short of securing a recommendation to Tsinghua or Peking University, so she's getting anxious. As for me, I'm the first to bear the brunt. On my way home from school that day, I was stopped by a few delinquent girls. White moonlight. I think you're just putting on an act. What kind of person are you? Making our brother Cade Lynn chase you for 2 months without giving in. I can't stand people like you the most. Stop pretending. Spread your legs quick and let my brother Cade Lynn have his fun, or we won't let you off easy. I laughed. A few little delinquent girls also came to give me trouble. Did they really think just because I have an innocent face, I'm some naive pushover? Did they think a few threats would make me cower? Are you going to hit me? Don't you think you're ridiculous? It's my freedom not to like Cade Lynn. Do I have to like him and make him cut ties with you? Save your breath. I'm actually giving you an opportunity this way. As for spreading my legs, sorry, but Cade Lynn isn't worthy. I sneered back, which instantly enraged those little delinquent girls. They reached out to hit me. Think carefully. If that slap lands, it won't be a small matter. You may be minors, but you'll still have to pay compensation. Is it worth hitting me for a scumbag who doesn't even like you? Or do you think that after hitting me, your dear Cade Lynn brother will finally give you a second glance? Or perhaps you believe that after hitting me, your Cade Lynn brother will compensate you for it? Think carefully, I said, placing my bag aside and watching them, even closing my eyes. They're not stupid, they can understand what I'm saying. Hit me. And I won't let it go easily. Compensation is definitely required. Cade Lynn wouldn't pay them any attention either. Seeing that they didn't make a move, I laughed. Liking Cade Lynn is your choice, but he might not be a good person. I have a pretty face, so he likes me. Ask him. Does he even know me? What does he like about me? What do I like to eat? What's my favorite color? He doesn't know anything about me. Yet he suddenly comes to confess his feelings. Isn't it just my face he's after? Men like that are boring. Do you really want to end up with someone who only likes your face? Save your breath, sisters. A man who truly loves you should cherish your inner qualities. Time ages everyone, and beauty fades. What will you do when you're in your 30s or 40s? I said these words and shouldered my school bag. Actually, I didn't have to tell them all this. The reason is simple. I wanted them to relay these words to Cade Lynn. Likewise, I wanted to tell them not to be so foolish, not to cause trouble for me and to avoid bringing trouble upon themselves. I left. And they all sat there dumbfounded. Sure enough, the news reached Cade Lynn's ears. The very next day, he asked me what I liked. I just grinned and said, I love eating the pan-fried buns from the south of the city, but they have to be from the first batch out of the oven. To pursue me, he actually went there. By the time he came back, it was almost noon. Here you go, the steamed buns you like. If it were someone else, they would surely be moved. But I know, his Xylong Barbo were meant for me. Yet they truly expressed his feelings for Virashu. That's great. He cares so much about Virashu, then I can rest assured. Sorry, it's cold now. Feed it to the dogs. I let out a cold laugh and turned to leave. Behind me, Cade Lynn's furious roar echoed. Steamed buns were scattered all over the ground. He is about to lose his patience. This is also great. Sure enough, after school that day, I saw Virashu with him again. Cade Lynn, just hang in there. You're really handsome. She's bound to be won over by you. You'll definitely help me, right? Virashu hugged Cade Lynn. This time, it wasn't his cheek she kissed, but his lips. I laughed, captured this moment, and waited quietly. A few more days passed, and Cade Lynn kept pestering me about this and that, and me. I deliberately messed with him. Fried dough sticks in the west of the city, jenbing gwazi in the east, pan-fried buns in the south, and sugar-roasted chestnuts in the west. Whatever I said, he would do. But tonight, he finally exploded. He blocked me at the school's back gate after class. Ivy, damn it, I'm not a dog. I've put up with you for so long. How can you actually become my girlfriend? I laughed. Finally, we've reached the most crucial part. However, I didn't voice my final condition. Because it's not enough yet. I still have to put him through one final test. I like boys who study well, and I won't force you. As for math, just do your best. Passing next week's exam will be enough. He scored 0 in every subject. How hard it must be to learn. If he could actually pass on his own, then it proves he must truly love Virashu. True love is priceless. It's best to make use of it. Cade Lynn's face looked utterly terrible. What's wrong? Is my condition too difficult? Besides, I'm thinking of you too. How can you date me if you can't even get into college? The most important thing is, it's also embarrassing. Just indulge my vanity. Okay, I laughed. What a load of nonsense. He wouldn't do it for me. But I knew this sentence would make him understand one truth. That is, if he wants to be with me, he must improve his studies. I left, looking forward to his performance in my heart, and in the following time, he indeed studied hard, which I saw with my own eyes. To be honest, I'm really surprised. Likewise, I'm also very happy. Go study, Cadelin. No matter how you study, you'll still be a loser. You're nothing but trash. In your past life, you were played and ruined by Virashu, which harmed me. This time, I'll be the one to play you and ruin Virashu. This is karma. He studied like this, which also surprised his classmates, leaving them all stunned. No one knew why he had become like this. But whether intentionally or unintentionally, I passed the message to Virashu. Everyone heard it. Oh my god, Cadelin actually studied for you. Is this the charm of the school bell? No, no, no. It's the charm of the genius school bell. Ivy, do you think I have a chance? I smiled as I looked at these classmates. Some of them are good, while others have ulterior motives. I don't mind, of course, if you can improve by 60 points from your current score. I might consider it. You can compete fairly with Cadelin. My words caused an uproar in the whole class, but it was just a casual joke from me. Yet it significantly boosted the class's learning atmosphere. This incident even alarmed the principal. Ivy, you kid. The principal called me in for a talk, with both joy and concern in his expression. Principal, I won't get into an early romance, but when they pursue me, I can't help it. Isn't the current situation just fine? I finished with a smile. And the principal nodded as well. It's indeed good. But how long can we keep it a secret? If they find out you lied to them, might they become even more unwilling to study? The principal was worried. I will encourage them. I need to cozy up to the principal, because sooner or later, I'll clash with the homeroom teacher Xu Changping. Only if the principal stands by my side will I have a chance to take him down. That's my goal. After all, soon, the class exam results were out. Everyone had improved, but to jump 60 points at once, that's way too hard. But there is also hope. Keep up the good work. You can do it. I smiled at them, cheering them on. Meanwhile, Cadelin was staring excitedly at his math test paper. I passed. Cadelin stared at me, and Virashu was looking at me too. The whole class was watching me. Are you trying to confess your feelings to me? I said deliberately. Yes, I want to confess to you. For you, I passed the exam. By Ivy. Be my girlfriend. He knelt down on one knee in the classroom once again and shouted. The classmates started cheering and making noise. Only Virashu clenched her fists tightly. Come out with me for a moment. I smiled faintly. He passed, but in the eyes of others, he had moved me. I led him to the back of the school building, where only the two of us were present. By Ivy, why did you bring me here? Can't hold back anymore. He moved closer, pinching my chin with his hand. His charming face and dazzling handsomeness were irresistible to most girls. Like a devil, dangerous in his fall, yet impossible to resist drawing near. I slapped his hand away, only to laugh in response. You're wrong. I just want to tell you one thing. After speaking, I took out my phone and showed him the photo. Cadelin's face instantly turned panicked. You already know. He looked at me in disbelief. His panic wasn't because he was afraid of me, but because he knew he couldn't succeed anymore. So, there was no way to explain it to Virashu. That's right, I do know. After I finished speaking, Cadelin's eyes turned red. Then what the hell were you playing me for 2 months? He roared angrily. Stop arguing. I did this for your own good. I started brainwashing him. For my own good. Do you take me for a fool? You call this for my own good? Are you fucking crazy? He couldn't hold it in anymore. Thinking about all the effort he'd put into me over these 2 months, he must be kicking himself with regret by now. Listen to me, and you'll know if I'm doing this for your own good. I cleared my throat and then began a new round of PUA. Cadelin, your perseverance has truly moved me. So I've decided to give you a helping hand. You want to pursue Virashu, then I'll help you pursue Virashu. You may not believe it, but why not give it a try? After I finished speaking, Cadelin looked at me coldly. Don't be fooled by their kiss. Virashu comes from a much better family than his, so a relationship between them is impossible. He knew it in his heart. He's not really stupid. Doesn't he know whether Virashu is using him or not? But my words gave him hope. He wants to truly possess Virashu, and I can help him. How to do it? He looked at me and asked, I'll pretend to be your girlfriend. She'll definitely regret it. Women, they don't cherish what they have, but crave what they can't get twice as much. So, she will definitely come back to you. Come here. I grabbed his arm and then took a photo. No faces were shown. Post it on your social media. I finished speaking and walked away directly. Cade Lin watched my retreating figure, gritting his teeth, posted a status update. Instantly, it caused a huge uproar. Everyone saw the photo, even though no faces were shown. He posted such a photo right after we left. Could they really not guess? Oh my god. Cade Lin did it. Oh no, my goddess is gone. Virashu's eyes were filled with loneliness and complexity. Virashu, thank you. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have known how amazing Cade Lin is. I'm really grateful to our homeroom teacher for seating him next to me. I smiled and said to Virashu. Her face couldn't hide its ugliness, but I thought it looked good. In the days that followed, Cade Lin was extremely attentive to me. You could say he's a guardian of flowers. We were inseparable, even eating together all the time. However, most of the whispers were about helping him pursue Virashu, and he seemed to sense it too. Virashu was paying more attention to him, which made him absolutely thrilled, happy. Yet I sneered, what an idiot. Serves you right to be fooled, handsome, but unfortunately brainless. This person, Cade Lin, he's a bad guy, but he's not as vicious as Virashu. I do hate him, but I hate Virashu even more. That's why I used him. That's why I endured the disgust and smiled at him, because I knew only then would Virashu get even angrier. Of course, the main reason was still my grades. No matter what, still number one. Virashu was anxious, pulling Cade Lin to influence me. As for me, I kept preaching to Cade Lin things like I need to study hard so my parents can live a good life. Also tell him that he must study hard and make sure his parents live a good life, and so on. Virashu plays with schemes. As for me, I play with open strategies. One is constantly malicious in front of you, the other constantly preaches super moral principles to your face. Over time, the balance shifts. Cade Lin's attitude toward me gradually changed, especially after I introduced him to my parents. Seeing how poor my family truly was, I told him I was determined to work hard and succeed. The way he looks at me has changed. Even though he really likes Virashu, he still feels guilty towards me. After all, everyone has their own moral compass. I have never wronged him. And on this day, Virashu finally had a falling out with Cade Lin. Virashu, maybe we should just target Xiaoran instead. By Ivy, I can't handle her. Cade Lin started to back out. No, Xiaoran's father works in the education bureau. There's no way we can handle this. If nothing else works, why not use force? Even if you just do something with her, as long as her grades drop, I can get the guaranteed admission. Virashu is still as vicious as ever. Cade Lin's expression changed too, though he didn't say anything. I heard every word and shook my head with a smile. Ah, Virashu, you still don't understand this man. It's true he's bad, but compared to you, he still has a shred of kindness. Later, Cade Lin's attitude towards me changed quite a bit. He genuinely seemed to treat me like a girlfriend. On sunny days, you hold an umbrella for me. On rainy days, you hold an umbrella for me too. Whatever I want to eat, you go and buy it for me. Even when I don't want to eat anything, you still buy it for me. You spoil me rotten. And I often praised Cade Lin as a good man in front of Virashu. Time came to the midterm exams. I remained first, while Virashu's grades dropped severely, reaching 9th place. A historic low, but what I didn't expect was that the city offered 2 opportunities to study at Tsinghua and Peking University for a week. As for me, naturally, I didn't get to go. The reason was simple. I was in a puppy love relationship. They suspended my classes for a week, so Virashu and Xiaoran went. Xiaoran looked at me, hesitating to speak. I knew what he wanted to say. Don't worry, I'm fine. Xiaoran is a good person, excellent in both character and academics, but there's nothing he could do about class matters. If you need anything, just let me know. I can talk to my dad about it. Don't get me wrong, I just feel, this isn't fair to you. He is just. I could totally take advantage of him. But I didn't, because every debt has its debtor. I would never do that. Thanks, but I'm really fine. I smiled, packed up my bag, and left the classroom. Leaving with me was Cade Lin. On the way, he looked at me, also somewhat awkward. Are you okay? He actually cares about me. It seems my approach was right. People, you see, fear nothing more than a sense of indebtedness. Once that sense of indebtedness takes hold, many things become much easier to handle. No, it doesn't matter whether I go or not. The main thing is you. Have you gotten closer to Virashu recently? I smiled sweetly, and the way he looked at me kept changing. There was less calculation in his gaze, more emotions, falling in love with me. If this guy fell in love with me, it would be even more ridiculous. It's alright. Cade Lin didn't want to mention Virashu's matter, and I don't know if it was for my sake. We were walking when suddenly, a car blocked our path. Before I could even react, several burly men who got out of the car dragged me inside. Who the hell are you? Cade Lin immediately started cursing. A man was sitting in the front row, about 4 or 5 years older than us. I knew him. His name was Sun Xian, who dropped out of middle school and later made his way up, opening a bar, not particularly wealthy, but still a person of some standing. From what I remember, he later started a company that did quite well. Combined with his status in the underworld, he became the top boss in the east side of town. Of course, that wasn't what caught my attention about him. He had a younger sister who had gone mad. As for the reason, I've figured it out now. Brother Sun. Cade Lin's face immediately changed. He's just a small-time thug, so of course he's scared when he sees the boss. I heard you went to my place to drink and cause trouble. Cade Lin, you're quite something. Sun Xian snorted coldly, lit a cigarette, and between puffs of smoke, exuded the domineering aura of a boss. I was wrong, Brother Sun. Please let me go. I swear I'll never dare to do it again. Cade Lin turned into a coward, but I don't think I was wrong. When under someone else's roof, one must bow their head. If he can't win the fight and still insists on resisting, he's the one who'll get hurt. Hey, scared now, aren't you? However, you'll need to pay a little price. He gave a cold laugh, and the burly man beside him immediately covered his head and gave him a brutal beating. Only after beating him until his face was bruised and swollen did they finally stop. I remained silent the whole time. Brother Sun, your anger has subsided, right? Can you let us go now, even if you won't let me go? At least release my girlfriend. She has nothing to do with this. After Cade Lin finished speaking, Sun Xian finally turned his head to look at me. A flash of amazement flickered in his eyes. What a fine woman. Cade Lin, it seems your bad habits haven't changed at all. Upon seeing me, Sun Xian's initial amazement quickly turned to anger. Cade Lin stammered, unsure of what to say. Sun Xian snorted coldly, then said, "Get out of the car, your girlfriend is mine now." After he finished speaking, Cade Lin wanted to say something, but his mouth was covered, and he was then kicked out of the car. The car started, and I was dragged away. From Cade Lin's perspective, I must be completely at his mercy, but I know Sun Xian wouldn't do that. He's a big brother figure, someone who would never stoop to such undignified behavior. Soon, the car pulled over to the roadside. Sun Xian waved his hand, and after the others got out, only he and I remained in the vehicle. "Aren't you afraid of me?" Sun Xian noticed my unchanged expression and asked curiously. "No." "Oh, why not?" He was puzzled. As a notorious villain, I wasn't afraid, so naturally he wanted to understand why. "Because you're a person of status. You wouldn't lay a hand on a defenseless high school student like me. Besides, you're someone who distinguishes clearly between gratitude and grudges. Since I haven't provoked you, you wouldn't come after me." I stated my reasoning, which made Sun Xian burst into laughter. "Quite clever, but your eyes are blind. Stay away from Cade Lin. That man is a scoundrel." Sun Xian said these words. I frowned, pondered for a moment, and then spoke. "Is it because of your sister?" The mention of the word sister instantly changed Sun Xian's expression, as if it were a taboo. You know about my sister." He looked straight at me, clearly unable to believe it. "I can help her." I spoke truthfully. "You reason?" he asked again. I said I almost had the same experience as her. "Do you believe me?" After I finished speaking, Sun Xian took a deep breath and said nothing. "Leave. I won't let you see my sister." He shook his head. When it came to his sister, he was a good brother. "I understand. Will you trust me?" I continued to ask. "I told you. I won't let you see my sister. Don't you understand? I'm not talking about your sister." I'm talking about your business. After I finished speaking, he became even more confused. Business? What the hell do you know? Sun Xian simply didn't believe me. Haha, what if I told you I know the commercial land in the east of the city has already caught the Lin family's attention, and I even know their bid? I smiled and spoke. I know about this matter. After all, it was such big news in my previous life that it would have been hard not to know. What? You know, Sun Xian was shocked, looking at me in disbelief. Exactly. Believe me or not, it's up to you. Think about it. Sun Xian narrowed his eyes. Go ahead, tell me why you're helping me. I won't waste words either. It's simple. They'll build commercial housing there. I want the largest apartment and another storefront property. Help me, and I'll help you in return. After I finished speaking, Sun Xian looked at me with considerable interest. I thought you were just a naive sweetheart, but turns out you're actually quite shrewd. After he finished speaking, I laughed too. Lin is a jerk, I know. It's just that I have no choice. Ask around and you'll understand. I smiled, believing he must have inquired about it. He wouldn't easily trust someone like me. All right, I agree, he nodded, and without further ado, I gave him the quote. I helped him not just for the money, but most importantly to seek protection. Sun Xian is a man of honor, and since it was about taking revenge on Lin, naturally, I had to use his help. As a weak woman, I don't have that much capability. He dropped me off at home, and at the door, I saw a nervous Lin. Are you okay? Seeing him, I smiled. It's fine. Sun Xian didn't give me any trouble. Lin visibly relaxed. That's good. That guy is a local bully. Of course I know better than him. In fact, I know even more about him than he does himself. Because the Lin family I just mentioned is one of the wealthiest in the city, and also the biological father of Lin. Right after high school graduation, he was recognized by his biological family, instantly becoming a rich second-generation heir. He married Virashu and began living a shamelessly indulgent life. Meanwhile, at that time, I was abandoned by Lin, failed to get into college, ended up becoming a laughingstock, witnessed their marriage, and with my parents' accident and the Lin family's schemes, I died on the road. So, I jumped off the building. So, I lied to Lin. I told him he would never catch up to Virashu in this lifetime because he and Virashu aren't on the same level, but I hid the fact that he could become a second-generation rich kid. Because of this incident, Lin became even more nervous around me. Soon, the semester came to an end. However, due to the need for remedial classes in the 12th grade, we still had to attend school as usual, but my grades remained the best in the class, undoubtedly the first place. Virashu was anxious. And Xu Changping became anxious too. Inside the office, Xu Changping looked at me with a smile on his face. Ivy, your guaranteed admission based on grades is no longer an issue, and this spot, I've given it to you, but I still hope you'll take the college entrance exam. Hearing this, I smiled slightly. Why, teacher, I've already been recommended, so why do I still need to take the exam? I don't understand. Of course, it's just an act. Heh. You've hit the nail on the head. I'd like to discuss a business deal with you. You get the guaranteed admission, but the exam name must be filled in with my daughter's. How about it? As compensation, it's not just this guaranteed admission spot. I'll also give you 50,000 yuan. These were Xu Changping's terms. He stopped pretending and laid his cards on the table with me. I smiled and nodded. Got it. I agreed. Of course, it was just a fake agreement, just buying time. How could I possibly agree to that bastard's demands for real? But Xu Changping was still delighted, truly believing I was some naive fool. Agree to his terms just to get $50,000. Idiot. After this matter was settled, Xu Changping found me more and more agreeable. I saw it in my heart and couldn't help but sneer. Lin and I are still inseparable, and his feelings for me seem to have grown even deeper. Yet every time he looks at me, there's a hint of heartache in his eyes. I just smile without saying a word. Days pass by, but my focus is no longer on Lin, but it was on Sun Xian. I went to the mental hospital and saw Sun Xiaoxiao, a very beautiful girl, yet she ended up like this. Seeing her, I saw myself, because she was just like me, raped. But couldn't find the real culprit, and ultimately broke down. You're very beautiful. I combed her hair, looking at her, and couldn't help but shed tears. In my previous life, I jumped off a building and ended my own life. although she didn't take her own life, she was living a fate worse than death. I must help her. From now on, I will come here every day and talk with her. I don't know how to treat mentally ill patients, but I know she was very happy chatting with me, or perhaps she really liked me, because I was one of the few people who treated her kindly. The weather outside is nice today, let's go out for a walk together. Holding her hand, I walked out of the hospital room. This was the first time she had left the hospital room in 3 years since being admitted. She was smiling happily, but my heart ached. If it weren't for the person who hurt her, she would surely be very happy now. Although she doesn't have parents, she has a loving brother. You're here. Sun Xian walked over from a distance at this moment. He looked at me, seemingly not too surprised. Indeed, this is a hospital with surveillance cameras. I've come here so many times, and he never said a word. Today he finally met with me, probably moved by my sincerity. Yes, I really like your sister. I spoke the honest truth. He glanced at me, sat down beside Sun Xiaoxiao, and then looked at me. I understand your situation. Cade Lin is not a good person. And the fact that you can still use him, I admire you for that. Also, regarding the project you mentioned, it's just as you said. Good. He looked at me with appreciation in his eyes. Thank you, I responded politely. I'll help you, but I also need you to help me. I've always believed that the person who harmed my sister back then was Cade Lin, so I'll help you take him down. What do you need me to do? I'll cooperate with you. He said the words I most wanted to hear. I'll let you know. Happy cooperation. I reached out my hand, and he shook it. It's a deal, but it's also friendship. Helping him is actually helping myself. Though I'm not sure if what he said is true, I still caught a few words from Cade Lin. That was when Sun Xiaoxiao was in the same class as Vera Shu, and she was recommended for admission to our school. Sun Xiaoxiao got pregnant unexpectedly, had an abortion, and eventually went mad. All of this is so similar to my own story. I have confirmed that this is the work of Cade Lin and Vera Shu, and I am prepared. The first one to take down is none other than Xu Changping, but I have always hesitated because I have no backing, but now I have it. During lunch break, I went to the school's broadcasting station and got in effortlessly. I took out the recording, placed it in front of the computer, clicked play, and locked the door. Instantly, the voices of Xu Changping and me echoed throughout the entire school. Ivy, your guaranteed admission based on your grades is no longer an issue. And this spot, I've given it to you, but I still hope you'll take the college entrance exam. Why, teacher, I've already been recommended for admission. Why do I still need to take the exam? Heh, you've hit the nail on the head. I want to discuss a deal with you. You get the guaranteed admission, but the exam will be taken under my daughter's name. How about it, as compensation? Not only will you keep this admission spot, but I'll also give you 50,000 yuan. Playing it over and over again, Xu Changping was furious and tried to rush into the broadcasting station, but I had already locked the door. Soon, it alarmed the principal. Even the education bureau was alerted. This is an appalling matter. As for me, naturally, I was summoned to the principal's office. Ivy, tell me, why did you have to go so far? The principal was clearly angry with me. The school lost face, and so did he. Principal, I have no other choice. The college entrance exam is just around the corner. If we don't do this, I'm afraid I won't be able to take it. After I finished speaking, the principal remained silent, but before leaving, he told me to be careful, and I was already prepared. Sun Xian will protect me. Xu Changping was dismissed and directly expelled from the school. Once his dark history was exposed, everyone was calling for his head, making him a real public enemy. Vera Shu looked like she wanted to skin me alive when she saw me. However, without Xu Changping, she didn't have an easy time in class. She used to be the center of attention, but now, haha, turned into a piece of shit. Her ugly face has also been remembered by many. However, just as school was ending, a Maybach pulled up in front of me. Got a new car. I got in the car and saw Sun Xian. Thanks to you, I bought that piece of land. The Lin family was furious and bought the land in the west of the city, but that land has issues, Sun Xian said with a smile, and I remembered too, that piece of land indeed has issues. It was heavy industry in the early years. Now, it's not yet time for development, but the Lin family couldn't wait. They couldn't let Sun Xian build the houses and dominate the market, so they took a desperate risk. This is going to be a bomb that will blow up the Lin family. By the way, someone wants to target you and your family. I've already taken care of it for you, Sun Xian said with a smile, taking out a video. The footage showed Xu Changping being slapped in the face. It wasn't enough, I smiled faintly. I just didn't show you the more violent parts. Sun Xian laughed heartily. I'm not afraid. I know, but that still won't do. He escorted me home, and in the days that followed, he secretly kept me under his protection. Zhu Kangping was completely at a loss, but Vera Xu had a new solution. Cade Lin, I know you can do it. Didn't you succeed during the high school entrance exams? How about we just do it one more time? Vera Xu snuggled up to Cade Lin and said coquettishly, but, Cade Lin still couldn't bear to. After it's over, let's get our marriage license. Okay, once we have the license, I'll go to university. Vera Xu showed her sincerity, and Cade Lin nodded in agreement. I smiled. I had been prepared for this day all along. As for what happened during the midterm exams, I can guess. Vera Xu is Cade Lin's first love. They are neighbors, and since childhood, Cade Lin has liked Vera Xu. As for the reason, perhaps it's just childhood affection. So, all these years, Cade Lin has been used by Vera Xu, and this is something he was willing to do. I can't really say much about this, but in this lifetime, they're overthinking it. The day of the college entrance exam is getting closer day by day. My grades are very stable, always ranking first. The school teachers are all very pleased, because they know I have a chance to become the top scorer in the province. For them, this is the greatest benefit. Cade Lin pretended nothing was wrong and continued to treat me well. I just sneered and accepted it all without question. It was all just an act, and eventually, the curtain would fall, soon. After 2 months of hard work, 3 days after the college entrance exam, Ivy, there are still some problems I don't understand. Can you help me review my homework? Looking at the message from Vera Xu, I sneered coldly. I could refuse, but she would still find another way to meet me. I could actually turn a blind eye and focus on my exams peacefully, but I didn't do that. I want to see clearly what becomes of them. The stage is set. Are you ready? I sent a message to Sun Xian. Ready. Sun Xian responded quickly, and I headed to the library with my backpack, where I saw Vera Xu. She was very happy and thanked me profusely. We're still best friends. Today you helped me review my homework, and tonight I'll treat you to milk tea. She looked at me with great sincerity. But this face deceived me. It made me jump to my death. I will never forget. The same scene, the same place, saying the same words. How ridiculous. If I hadn't been reborn, perhaps the outcome would have been the same. But, the heavens are just so unfair. Great. I smiled and spent a disgusting afternoon with her. By 4 or 5 o'clock, as the sky was just beginning to darken, she eagerly dragged me out for coffee. She even made up an excuse, asking me to fetch something for her, and tampered with my coffee. My acting skills are much better than hers. I ordered a burger and accidentally got some on her when I handed it to her. Oops, sorry. I quickly wiped it off for her, but it just wouldn't wipe clean. Go wash up in the restroom. I'll wait for you here, I quickly said. She smiled at me, gave a soft ham, and walked away, and I, having switched her coffee, drank half of it, silently waiting for her to return. She was delighted to see the coffee I had drunk. I took the last sip. Tomorrow is the college entrance exam. Let's do our best together. Cheers. I smiled and raised my glass, clinking it with hers. Vera Xu hummed in agreement and clinked glasses with me too. Bottoms up, I laughed. She also smiled. However, in the end, she fainted, and I slowly helped her into Sun Xian's car. There was also someone in the car. Cade Lin. However, he also passed out. Leave the rest to you. I smiled faintly. Don't worry, I won't let them get away with this. Sun Xian's eyes were filled with hatred and overwhelming fury. I know, he can't hold back any longer. Waiting for your good news. No need to wait, just keep an eye on your phone tonight, though. It's not suitable for children. Better not watch too much. He laughed heartily, and I waved goodbye as I left. Revenge is finally mine. At 8 p.m., just as Sun Xian had predicted, an intense and explicit short film started circulating on the school forum and group chats. I clicked to take a look and was completely stunned. I thought Sun Xian would only record a little bit of video, but I never expected him to set up multiple camera angles, filming directly in their faces. Lynn and Virashu were completely lost in the moment. Not only was it a feast for the eyes, but it was also so beautifully done. After all, Lynn is genuinely handsome, and Virashu is truly stunning. There are comments below, comparable to top-tier videos from the island country. I don't understand, but I can guess what they're talking about, but the group chat exploded. Holy shit, that's insane. Are they relaxing before the college entrance exam tomorrow? Ivy, are you there? Your boyfriend, stop talking nonsense. Someone like him isn't worthy of being Ivy's boyfriend, and this Virashu is just disgusting. We all knew she had her eyes on Lynn, but who would have thought she couldn't hold back any longer? The class group chat exploded with activity. Tomorrow is the college entrance exam, and this is definitely today's main event. Did you see it? Sun Xian sent a message. You're a pro. I laughed and replied, told you not to watch too much. Give it your best tomorrow. I silently turned off my phone. I'm in a great mood. The college entrance exam was a turning point for me. Last time, I failed with my best friend, failed with the school heartthrob, failed with the teacher. But this time, no one can stop me. Outside, the rain is pouring down. Its end also marks the end of my high school years. The rain has stopped. The college entrance exam is over. When I turned on my phone again, I saw a text message. It's from Lynn, Ivy. I'm sorry, that's all he said. I laughed. Sorry for me. I've been playing along with you for so long. Do you really think I like you? How laughable, how laughable. I didn't reply to her, but instead met with Sun Xian. It's most likely Lynn and Virashu who did it. It's just that the two of them hid it too well. If it weren't for you, I would never have suspected Vera, but they have a video of my sister, so I still have to find it. This is the real knot in my sister's heart. Sun Xian exhaled a cloud of smoke, his eyes filled with the joy of revenge, yet still shadowed by worry. I have a good idea. Actually, Lynn is the son of the Lin family. Very few people know about this. Can you think of a way? After I finished speaking, Sun Xian was stunned. What do you mean? He didn't follow my train of thought. Stupid. The heavy industrial land in the east of the city. You know, after I finished speaking, Sun Xian immediately burst into laughter. By Ivy. You're quite impressive. I'm becoming more and more interested in you. I froze. There's a 5-year age gap between us. And besides, I'm a poisonous rose. But Sun Xian shook his head. I'm not afraid of poison. I know my limits. Another man falling for me. I shook my head with a smile, got out of the car and left. A few days later, I woke up early because today was an important day. Virashu's abortion. She was pregnant with Lynn's child. So naturally, she had to get an abortion. I arrived at the hospital early and saw her. Ivy, bye. She glared at me fiercely, her eyes blazing with anger. The cards are already on the table, so of course she doesn't need to pretend anymore. But I still have to keep up the act. Don't get an abortion, listen to me, or you'll regret it. I looked at her, and my words clearly took her by surprise. What do you mean? I smiled slightly, took out my phone, and opened a file. This was sent to me by Sun Xian. The document contained information about Lynn being the illegitimate child of the Lin family. Her eyes widened as she looked at the file. At the same time, a message popped up in the dialog box. Lynn, the illegitimate son of the Lin family, has been recognized and returned to the family. Still fighting? I asked with a smile. Virashu didn't answer me and ran out of the hospital like crazy. Little did she know, stepping out of here would lead her into another abyss. I prepared it especially for her. It's done. I smiled and sent a message to Sun Xian. He also replied with a message. Me too. I smiled. This time, it was finally over. I await my college entrance exam results. Just as I await the fate of Lynn and Virashu, does he really think returning to his roots is a good thing? What a joke. 2 pieces of good news. Whichever comes first makes no difference to me. I just didn't expect the results to come out first. I'm the top scorer, the pride of the school. I received everyone's praise and admiration, but the ones who are truly envied aren't me. It's Lynn and Virashu. They specifically hosted a banquet for us, to celebrate the end of our college entrance exams. Of course, it wasn't sincere, it was just to show off. We all arrived at the hotel. The protagonists, Lynn and Virashu, were the last to arrive, hand in hand. The two were no longer what they used to be. dressed in designer brands, wearing luxury watches, and Caitlin even drove a sports car. Far from being low-key, the classmates all shut their mouths. Their words carried little weight, and they couldn't say much now. They just looked at me with a hint of sympathy, perhaps, in their eyes. If it weren't for Vera Shu, I would have been Caitlin's fiancé. I would have been the Lin family's daughter-in-law, work at least several decades less. In fact, even decades of hard work couldn't match the Lin family's fortune. But I just laughed. Ivy, don't worry about it, you're the top scholar. You'll definitely find something great in the future. Yes, you may have lost in love, but you're winning in exams. It's all the same. Many people whispered words of comfort to me, but I just smiled. I think I'm winning in both. After I spoke, they didn't understand, but Vera Shu looked at me. Ivy, you're here too. Some people are just destined for this fate. What do you think we study for? Isn't it just to have a bright future? Now it's all good. I've got it, even though I didn't go to college. I feel like my life is getting better and better. She was very proud. Indeed, she should be proud. Congratulations. I smiled and raised my glass. But only Caitlin looked at me with eyes full of apology. He sent me many text messages, saying sorry. He even considered breaking up with Vera Shu for my sake, but I refused. I told him, this is your dream. Vera Shu deserves it. A perfect match. Birds of a feather flock together. Thank you. Vera Shu clinked glasses with me, her eyes brimming with excitement. Caitlin also raised his glass to mine and downed his drink in one go. Ivy, may your future be as bright as the stars. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll be there for you. Caitlin made a promise to me in front of Vera Shu. This made Vera Shu's expression turn ugly, and she secretly pinched Caitlin. But Caitlin didn't seem to care at all. Looking at me with eyes full of love, I smiled faintly. No need for you to trouble yourself. I will definitely have a bright future ahead. But you need to be careful. After I finished speaking, Vera Shu was displeased. What do you mean? Caitlin is now the heir of the Lin family. The Lin family's company has been handed over to Caitlin. He's now the legal representative. Vera Shu was quite pleased with herself. Legal representative? How ridiculous. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Caitlin, you're in deep trouble, I sighed. Which made Caitlin freeze in surprise. What did you say? He didn't understand, and neither did anyone else. The Lin family's project in the east of the city has issues. You didn't know. The East City project was originally zoned for heavy industry. Over time, it was bound to cause problems. There's too much radiation. Many have already been affected, developing cancer. This matter can no longer be contained. As soon as I finished speaking, the police burst through the door. Who is Caitlin? The situation immediately spiraled out of control. Caitlin was taken away. That piece of land owned by the Lin family was problematic from the start. Do they really need a son? He's just a shield. A scapegoat, nothing more. In his previous life, Caitlin returned to the Lin family because something happened to the Lin family's son, which was why they brought him back. In this life, with my warning, could anything happen to the Lin family's son, Sun Xian wouldn't let anything happen to him either, so the blame falls on Caitlin this time. I smiled. I'm very satisfied with this result. We did it. Sun Xian looked at me, excitement in his eyes. Did you find the video? I asked curiously. Found it. The item has been destroyed. Sun Xian breathed a sigh of relief, and I could see he was genuinely relieved. The existence of the video was like a ticking time bomb, capable of inflicting a second wave of harm on Sun Xiaoxiao at any moment, and this damage, if it comes again, I'm afraid it will never recover. Bai Jie, you're here. Sun Xiaoxiao looked at me and smiled. She's recovering quite well, though not completely healed, but she should be able to make a full recovery, of course. The knot in her heart is also Caitlin. His fate is the antidote for Sun Xiaoxiao. The time for college hasn't arrived yet. Actually, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also a bit anxious, because I wanted to know their results. However, the outcome was very, very slow, with no other choice. I arrived at the university campus. As a freshman and the top provincial scholar, it was only natural for me to give a speech. That day, I stole the spotlight, but I wasn't proud at all. What I didn't expect was Sun Xian bringing his sister along. Down in the audience, Sun Xiaoxiao was clapping for me. Bai Jie, you're amazing. I wish I could be like you. She looked at me, her eyes filled with envy. You can do it too, I immediately said. But I didn't even go to high school, I can't go to college anymore. Her eyes were filled with desolation. I'll tutor you, you were so good in middle school, you can definitely do it. I wasn't lying to her, I truly believed in her. Really, Sister Bai, you believe in me? I nodded, naturally believing her. Then I'll give it a try, she smiled happily, and I also did my best to tutor her. Instead of being like Cade Lin, university days were quite leisurely and passed by quickly. In the blink of an eye, a semester was over. Sun Xian drove us home in his car. Nowadays, my parents have opened a supermarket. This was also Sun Xian's doing. He picked the best spot for my parents. Even when funds fell short, he was the one who covered it for me. He said it was payment. He gave me 3 million in one go. I gave it all to my parents. Making money, of course, is about ensuring the family lives happily. On the way, we listened to music as we headed home. Sun Xian answered a phone call at that moment, then hung up and smiled at me. You got the result, the one you wanted. I was taken aback for a moment, then laughed too. How many years? 10 years, it's been quite a long time. Who would have thought Cade Lin would be locked up for 10 years? By the way, there's one more piece of news for you. Vera Xu found out too, seems like she's going to the hospital. Hearing this, I immediately burst into laughter again. Last time, I persuaded her not to have the abortion. This time, don't make me go and persuade her again. Sun Xian quickly understood what I meant. I'll arrange it. Hospital. Vera Xu, with her large belly, was already sitting outside the abortion area. At her stage of pregnancy, an abortion was not possible. But she never wanted to be born in the first place. I saw her, and she saw me. By Ivy, you ruined me. She looked at me, furious, but I laughed. Is that so? I'm truly sorry. I looked at her big belly, which once was exactly like mine, but I felt no sympathy, only indifference. You are the most vicious woman I've ever seen. She cursed at me fiercely. If not for her heavy body, she would have probably already taken action. Last time, I advised you not to have an abortion. This time, I won't advise you anymore. After I finished speaking, Vera Xu angrily cursed. I damn well won't listen to you either. My words aren't finished yet. I'll find someone else to persuade you. I finished with a smile as footsteps sounded outside, and I walked to the stairwell nearby. Vera, it's Cade Lin. He's already inside, but thanks to Sun Xian's maneuvering, he can still come out to meet Vera Xu. You bastard, what are you doing here? Vera Xu was furious, unable to contain her anger. Vera Xu, didn't you say you wanted a child of our own? Why, you want to abort him? You said you'd give me a son, give me a daughter. Were all these just lies to deceive me? Cade Lin cried. I must be blind to have fallen for you. You're just a useless piece of trash. Can't even handle by Ivy properly. Now you want me to bear your son. Keep dreaming, asshole. I refuse to let my child be born as a convict's son. Vera Xu is truly heartless. To say such things to a man she's used for so long. Regardless of anything else, Cade Lin still loves her. I see all this clearly. Vera Xu, what did you just say? For you, I've done so many wrong things. Sun Xiaoxiao was the first, Bai Ivy was the second, and now you're actually saying this to me, even if it's a condition. After all I've done for you, helping me give birth to my son shouldn't be too much to ask, right? Cade Lin was completely dumbfounded. Get the hell out of here, don't mention Bai Ivy to me. If it weren't for your incompetence in handling her, I would have already gotten into Tsinghua or Peking University by now. You're useless, utterly useless. I never want to see you again in my life. Just pretend we never knew each other. Vera Xu was utterly cold. Cade Lin cried his heart out, kneeling before her. But, still useless, I sighed and could only shake my head at the sight. When I walked out of the hospital, I saw Sun Xian. I've already said hello. He said one sentence to me. What? I didn't understand. You, even dumber than me. Just wait for the result then. I don't know what he meant, but within 2 days, the news came. Vera Xu had a failed abortion, suffered severe bleeding, and ultimately, to save her life, her uterus had to be removed. At that moment, I finally understood why he had said those words to me. I laughed. He truly kept his word. I returned to the hospital once more, gazing coldly at Vera Xu in the general ward, and when she opened her eyes, the first person she saw was me. You're awake. I smiled and poured her a glass of water. Ivy, I'll haunt you even as a ghost, she screamed. Is that so? Don't be in such a hurry. There's something I forgot to tell you. She froze, staring at me. Her expression was filled with fear. She must not have understood what I said, but she was definitely terrified. Xiao Ran has gone abroad. He didn't use the guaranteed admission spot to go to Tsinghua or Peking University. It was for me, and for you too. I only heard about this news much later. Xiao Ran was the fairest person. He couldn't stand the methods Xu Chongping and Vera Xu used against me, and ultimately chose to go abroad. I just wanted to give the spot to Vera Xu, but she had no idea. After all, that incident happened after the college entrance exams, and Xiao Ran didn't even take the exams. With his grades, he went straight abroad. What did you say? Vera Xu was in agony. She schemed and plotted, only to end up like this. If she hadn't schemed against me, perhaps she would have gotten that spot. It's just a pity that her father lost his job, and she had no uterus. This is the best price to pay. I'm leaving, and this news is enough for her. And as soon as I stepped down, I saw her jump from the building. She has also tasted the feeling of jumping off a building. However, she didn't die. It was Sun Xian's doing. He hired world-renowned doctors to keep her alive. But she became disabled, lying in bed, unable to speak. Yet her mind remained clear. The rest of her life would be spent like this. She got what she deserved, after learning about her fate. I went to visit Cade Lin and told him about Vera Xu's situation. He covered his face and wept bitterly, but after a while, he looked up at me with affectionate eyes. Ivy, I was wrong. Can you give me another chance? He looked at me with longing in his eyes. It was the gaze of a devil looking at an angel. I laughed. Sorry, I won't give you the chance. After all, this is something I've worked hard to achieve. He froze. What did you say? He clearly didn't understand the meaning behind my words. Do you really think I was helping you? Do you think I didn't know you and Vera Xu were teaming up against me? What a pity. You're just too foolish, so foolish as to actually believe I would help you. Cade Lin, blame yourself for misjudging me. You'll never get out of here in this lifetime. After I finished speaking with a smile, Cade Lin still looked confused. You still don't get it, do you? Alright, then let me tell you one more thing. Do you really think the Lin family would let you return to your roots at this time for no reason? In one sentence, Cade Lin's eyes widened in shock. When the project went wrong, Cade Lin became the scapegoat, and the Lin family fled. They fled directly abroad, transferring all their assets, abandoning this recently acknowledged illegitimate child. You vicious woman. The look in Cade Lin's eyes when he looked at me turned completely to fear. 2 days later, he went mad. I don't know if it was Sun Xian's doing, but he was indeed crazy. Xiao Xiao didn't come today. After getting into Sun Xian's car, they agreed to go for Western food. She's a third wheel. Why bring her along? Sun Xian looked at me. The corners of his mouth slightly upturned. So it seems you're not afraid of poisonous roses. I also smiled. I told you, I know my limits. Sun Xian stepped on the accelerator. On the road, neon lights flickered, and his gaze upon me was as tender as water. And I returned his gaze. I am an adult, aware of his significance. Therefore, a good man I would take. I'd take a good man with money too.